All right, this is part 3. So now I'm going to read you a part from 1 Corinthians 12. One body, many parts. Right? I'm going to try to paraphrase it. Verse 12. The body is a unit, though it is made up of many parts, and though all its parts are many, they form one body. So it is with Christ. For we are all baptized by one Spirit into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, slave or free, and we are all given the one Spirit to drink. Now the body is made up of many parts, that the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body. It would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. I'm going to skip down to verse 21. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts that seem to be weak are indispensable, and the parts that we think are less honorable we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty. Let's get down again. So that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. And I'll leave it at that. So I felt disconnected, right? Obviously. I'm not going to church. I'm not going to midweek. Of course you feel disconnected. I'm going to Bible talk. Yes, I'm doing that. We're inviting people into the house. I myself have conducted many Bible studies. You know, I sat there and I studied, and I gave it to my friends, to my Bible talk. You know, consisted of about 12 people. We had like 4 kids at the time, like 4 boys, I think. And then we got other people in, like Carrie and Rachel, and they had 2 daughters, and you know, so we grew. But the men weren't really talking to each other. Not really. I think maybe in the past 2-3 years, Dave Eastman came through, and you know, he started leading the church, and he came through, and we started a marriage series for the men, and we did 2. I think we got 2 get-togethers where we watched a video and then we discussed it afterward, and that was actually pretty good. We had a workbook and everything, but it never went any further than that. And even Cicero came by, and he tried to, you know, get the men together and try to, you know, get us to do things, you know, just to even just get together and talk. And that was like, oh, well, it's like pulling teeth. And eventually Cicero went to the west side, so he's not even here with us. But he tried, you know, for one time, but I guess he saw where it was going and he just left it alone. You know, so it's been difficult. That's what I can say. I've been a loner for a while, and it's not because I wanted it that way. It's just that nobody, for lack of a better term, really cared. I mean, when nobody calls you, when you're the one who's always reaching out to people, when you're the one who's always trying to do things and get people to, you know, pull people in, and they're not responsive, what do you do? At one point, so since I couldn't do my Bible talk, man, they weren't really receptive. I tried to go with my old roommates, like LaTroy, Tyrone, and Dion. And, you know, we tried to do something where we went over some scriptures that my wife had pulled off the internet. And me and Tyrone and LaTroy got together at LaTroy's place. And we did it one time. And I tried to explain, too, like, you know, don't let me be the one who just leads the charge. Like, we all have to be equal in this. But we only ended up doing that one time, and nobody ever talked about doing it again, and so we just fell off. So for the whole year of 2014, is that what I said? 2014, because it's hard for me to remember. So 2014, that whole year is like I was trying to get myself into a position of accountability with my other brothers, but nothing ever really panned out. So coming into 2015, I was kind of like, I'm done, you know? I was like, I'm finished, you know, because there's no point if you're not, you know, if you're not studying with men, if you're don't even have the desire to bring other men into this fold. Because what I felt like was, why would I bring anybody into this? Nobody's calling me. Nobody's trying to help me out. You know, Christianity is not a lone sport, or, you know, you're not supposed to be in it by yourself. You know, other men should have concern for you. I remember having a conversation with my wife that she was kind of complaining that people don't call her, right? It was one friend in particular, And I was explaining to her about boundaries. That if you allow people, like if you're always giving to that person, that one person, and they don't reciprocate, then it's time for you to kind of pull back. You know, it's like if they really care, then they'll initiate. You know, and you gotta give them time and space to do that. So eventually, with this one friend she had, she actually did follow my advice and she pulled back, and it took a lot of time, but eventually that friend did actually call, because what was going on is that person was only she would only call my wife when she needed something, I guess, my wife always had to call her first. That's what the way it worked. So I saw that dynamic going on with me. I tried to call people and, not much was happening. Okay, so 6 minutes, pausing this, go to part 3 or 4. Where are we?